Good morning and welcome to day 4 of the research at Snowdrop Tundra at the 40% area bonus. We are going to jump right into the sleep report here, and my Pokemon are not doing too hot on the energy side, so it's mostly just to get this done. And I also have a nap session on the counter here, so that's going to be interesting as well. This is the residual sleep session during the night for me, and then that means I won't get a premium biscuit, but I have the potential of getting some snoozing Pokemon, or snoozing, that's funny, dozing or snoozing for the most part because of these nap sessions. So snoozing it is. I don't know if there are any snoozing Pokemon that I'm interested in at Snowdrop for the most part. Potentially, I feel like I've seen Spheal, but that's not right. Spheal is slumbering for sure, but maybe there's some variation there in the evolution line. I think that may be what it is. I'm gonna look at Celio. Let's look at it. No, it's slumbering as well. All right, never mind. Okay, we got a top belly Slackoth. That's pretty cool. Another Slackoth down here. Got the Rattata, Raticate, and Dazed Sleep Slowpoke. That looked way awake. Then we have a Ditto and a Flaffy. And of that, we're just gonna head out of here. Skip all the pictures. Seen all of these before. Being a max rank daily player. Alright, that's a decent amount of Dream Shards though, I'll take it. Around 10,000 in total. Mostly because of that Ditto, it seems like. So we studied all the Pokemon. And we'll have to see if any of these are hungry. None of them are. Okay. Not too interested in the Slowpoke yet. If there is some combo potential with the Suicune, I will consider it. But for the most part, I would say it is the Rattata here. But I'm also not really... You know what? It could be interesting with a Berrymon for this event, now that I know that I'm going to Snowdrop. So I'm going to give it a go here on the Rattata. But overall, I do have to be a little bit stingy with my biscuits here because I want to save up for the Entei and this weekend event. But then now there's a flower festival coming up, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I was like, what? Did it just like not count? But it did. So I am not a fan of Slackoth personally. This might have been a dream scenario for some of you, but I'm skipping on it. It's a D tier Pokemon in my book, so not gonna hunt it. Alright. What is the best berry here? I think for sure it is the Ditto berry. Or candy. I keep saying berry, but yeah, of course, the candy. Potentially Ampharos, but yeah, I think most people will be more than happy with the Ditto. Especially considering the fact that it is hard to level up to level 60, when that is where Ditto really shines, with those 3 tails as an ingredient specialist. Alright, so we got a single Pokemon to review here in the main session. Series, that should be a neutral nature, and it's now berry finding in the first spot. So energy recovery, inventory, ingredient finder S, helping speed. Helping speed comes in a bit late, and it being a berry specialist, the friendship level is pretty high. I'm going to keep going and look for the BFS, potentially a good nature as well, either helping speed up and or ingredient finding down, and then maybe a couple helping speed sub-skills as well. So, befriended a bunch of Pokemon, and we've done a lot of cooking as well. So, I don't know exactly which order I should pop the Sylveon in. I want to go back here and just double check the energy. Let's see, so I do have the Walrein on the team, and that is doing a bit of work. And so when I did connect my Pokemon Go Plus, that is when the energy was actually restored on these Pokemon. So you can see that it is 83. I think I got like 90 something because of the energy recovery on the Walrein. So that's pretty strong. Most of these are in need of some refill. So I'm just interested here in seeing the numbers because to an extent I don't want to mess around with the game too much in terms of menus and all that stuff. So the Sylveon is at 83, and I'm going to connect to my Pokemon Go Plus. I've done a nap session, and then we'll see how much energy I'll recover at the end, because that could be interesting. If I can get it up to like high 90s, and then I can pop the Sylveon and I get some extra energy, that's going to be just fine. Alright, so a bit longer of a nap session than I intended, but that's just how it is sometimes. Maybe I'll get up to 100. It is a slumbering session, and I don't know why I put the Ampharos up here. I was thinking the Abomasnow. I am on the hunt for a Snover. That's the main target this week. I found a busted Absol, so I don't know if I can hope for too much. And then I'll go back to Snowdrop next week too, to stack the area bonuses. And at that point, I do have a good chance of finding an Abomasnow next week. But then I'm going to Snowdrop another time because of the event. And so that's going to be interesting. Here's a Snover and a Spheal. And another Spheal. Hey, I'm getting a lot of candy. I'm happy about that. So we are going to get the Snover, and then we'll see if any of these other ones are hungry. I am on the hunt for another Walrein. That could be really strong into the event, but overall I don't have the resources to really boost it, so it's not urgent at all. So for the most part, gonna get my hands on the Snover. Oh, the why not? I am somewhat tempted to waste a biscuit on it, but it's just so funny it being... But then again, what am I gonna use it for? I don't want it. Okay. Oh, almost messed up there. I'm going for the Snover. Alright, I need to use a single Pokebiscuit, and at that point I think actually I'm going to call it a day. I don't need a Togepi, and I'll just be happy for the candy on this Spheal and the Celio. So my Walrein is getting close to level 50, but it's going to take a little bit more time, I think. So maybe after these couple weeks of just hanging out at Snowdrop, that's going to be good. So see you later, why not? Then we have another Pokemon to review here. During these somewhat slower weeks, it's always interesting to see if you end up with any Pokemon. Oh, the Walrein for sure is the better biscuit here. The better candy, the better berry. They all start at the letter B. Maybe that's what's messing me up. But yeah, I'm gonna send a Spheal candy to the friend list, and hopefully they will be happy about it. Got another 4,000 Dream Shards. That's pretty good. Oh, Adamant, that sucks. That is the best nature for Berry Specialist, but this is not a Berry Specialist. I'm interested in the eggs. Could I potentially be okay with Adamant nature? If it by chance is like level 25 Berry Finding, and it has inventory and helping speed, and the double eggs, I think in the short term as an egg farmer I'd be just okay with that, but Adamant sucks. So Adamant is up speed, down ingredient finding, and that minus 20% is huge. Okay, so we got a mixed ingredient list here. If I cap it at level 30, then it should be just fine, but for the most part I tend to hunt for Pokemon that I can bring into my game long term, so let's see it. It's got helping speed. Skill level up is just waste, and then ingredient finder M. If this had been a better nature, I might have considered it, but there are a couple things here that really sucks about it. So the nature is Adamant, the ingredient finding is down. That is a huge negative problem because it's minus 20%, and you just won't recover from that, even with a 10% boost to the speed. And then we have helping find, or rather the helping speed M at level 100, which means you can sub-skill seed the helping speed S. And the ingredient finder is coming in at level 50, which is rather late. And the ingredient list is mixed here. The only ingredient list that I'm looking for personally is double eggs. So that one's going straight in the bin. And then the big question here is the energy healed. So energy recovered, 30, and then the 14% bonus makes it to 34, which means all of my Pokemon should now be... Wait, that was strange. That inventory was not full whatsoever. Yeah, I'm going to pop all of these except the Sylveon, and then we will go into the bag and have a look at some of these numbers, because I think if I do wait around, then I can just optimize when I record the video during the day. And at that point, I don't really have to care too much about when I pop the Sylveon and so on. So yeah, up to 100. All 100s. And then when I do pop the Sylveon, which I, in the long run, am thinking of not running overnight. That could be an interesting combo. Yeah, here's the Sylveon. So then all of those, for the most part, should be at 118%. Some of these have the energy recovery down nature, which is fine. So 118. Yeah. Well, none of these had it, actually. Interesting. So that was a good experiment. Then I know a little bit more in terms of when I should place my Pokemon and all that stuff. I am considering to do the overcharge strategy now, where I switch out some of these Pokemon for some others. I want to double check my bag for that. And we can see here that I have a decent amount of leeks. I have a decent amount of tasty mushrooms, but I'm really lacking on the warming ginger, as you can see. I'm almost wondering if I should just chill out this week a little bit in terms of the mushrooms and the leeks and start on that prep already, particularly with the week not being too strong to begin with, as it was just right after the Raikou event. And so I'll just have to think a little bit more about that. But for the most part, I am gonna put out the Tyranitar again, just because it has the favored berry and I am lacking on some of these ingredients. So for the most part, I am considering potentially switching out the Dugtrio here. But the leeks take a long time to really stack up. And it would be interesting to test the Dedenne strategy on Sunday and just see where we can go with that. So the Gengar at the very least needs to be in. But if I do switch out the Dugtrio here into the Tyranitar, then I'm going to have a lot of berry value. So got 2 berries on the Tyranitar, 3 on the Walrein, and 2 on the Ditto. And they're decently fast. And then in terms of upgrades, we can have a look at the Walrein as well. You can see that I am within range here to get it to level 47. It's not too far off here. So I'm going to get a little bit more speed and a little bit more on the or the berry value. What would be nice here would be to get it up to level 50 by the event to get the extra ingredients, because I will be running probably Sylveon, Tyranitar, Walrein, Ditto, and Glaceon, and just have that as a combo, especially if I can really stock up on the leeks and mushrooms, as I went over in my event news coverage. So yeah, the Walrein is getting close. I could consider the Handy Candy Owl, but to an extent I want to preserve as many of these resources as possible for a potential Entei or Suicune combo. I have a really strong team for Snowdrop, but not really for a lot of the other areas, and potentially the Suicune or Entei could really help me with that. So can also pop into the community here. A lot of you have joined Nirtheart, and so I have been adding you in on my friend list, despite the fact that I do have quite a bit of the level 5 friends. And so Mark here, recent YouTube member, Liquid Divinity, an OG. Let's see. Also got the Liam here. Lapis Lakeside with a shiny Gardevoir and the Beware. The double Blastoise on the way. I like it. Got another JP. At Taupe Hollow looking for the Cyndaquil, I assume. It's got a Tyranitar, Gengar, Doug Trio, and Charmeleon. Hey, that Charizard's gonna be nice. And also got the Gardevoir. I haven't started on the Gardevoir hunt yet. I'm not particularly stressed about it, just because it's gonna take so many main skill seeds and biscuits to get that perfect Volts. I'm going all in, like I'm talking 50 friendship level, and then just judging based on that what I'm going for. So I want just a pristine Gardevoir once I go for it, just because my Sylveon is so strong already. Shanji, another member in the nirtheart Discord. A little bit, what would you say? I don't know what to say here. Got a little stumped. What I wanted to say was a little bit further behind, but that is all relative. But in terms of timing and all that stuff, it's just if you picked up the game later or took a pause, then you're not going to be the max rank. But it's always interesting to have discussions with people at all stages of the game, because it is a bit different. And one thing that I have been wondering a lot about is if you then come in later as a player, what happens then with the candy list? Because if you for the most part get friends that are level 5, then a lot of the higher ranked players will be hanging out at Top Hollow and Snowdrop Tundra, and particularly Lapis Lakeside. And at that point, I wonder if you're just getting candies in large volumes that you can't use until later. Like, you won't find a good Cyndaquil until you go to Top Hollow, and you won't be getting a lot of Spheal potentially until the Snowdrop Tundra. It is possible to come across it at Cyan Beach, but I think for the most part it's more likely a Snowdrop. And then just all the Ralts candy and the Stuffle candy and the Dragon Knight candy and all that stuff. Hey, we should also peek a look at Spheal here, what he's up to. So, still the Meganium, still working on that Walrein towards level 50. I'm guessing that he doesn't really have all that much of a hurry with that, because it's likely that he has got a decent sub-skill of 50, but it's not huge. And then the Wigglytuff has the healer, so it's going to be interesting to see if Spheal switches to Gardevoir at some point. I suspect that he has a similar approach to mine, to where he does just keep his main healer until he finds that pristine version of the next upgrade. So you can see that his team RP is 20,000 almost, over 19,000. That's a lot. That makes me wonder if he has really put those main skill seeds into his berry Pokemon. That is likely, especially with that Meganium being over 4,000. That's ridiculous. At that point, I wonder if it's like Adamant, berry finding, skill level up am, helping speed am. Something crazy like that. It would be interesting if Spheal at some point comes across one of these videos and joins nirtheart, and then we can actually talk to him, because he's a legendary player, or her. But yeah, so we went through the friend list here. Hope overall you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment. As always, I'll get back to you, and thank you for watching. Oops.